Hi guys, welcome to another Mind Right Monday. This week we're going to talk to you about how you could become a self-loving guru. Hi guys, welcome to another Mind Right Monday. Today we're talking about how you can become a self-love guru. Now this is a huge topic in our industry. In fact, there are so many books and so many blog posts and so many coaches that just talk about self-love. And it's that big because it's that important. We think about self-love and a lot of times associate it with being selfish or being arrogant, when self-love is so necessary to your well-being, to your happiness, and to your joy. In fact, without it, you are only half serving others. So this need, and the reason why it's such a big topic is because so many of us struggle with this idea of loving ourselves, especially when there's so many things that are wrong with ourselves. And so today I'm going to share 3 different techniques of how you can really step into being more loving of thyself and less critical and judgmental. All right, so let's just dive right in. And today our first one is make time for you. Begin your day with love, not technology. This is huge, right? I could even take my own advice here because I've gotten into this weird habit in the last month of being on my phone when I first wake up. And it's so easy to get into that. There's so many apps and games and just different things that you could be doing, whether it's your email or connecting or tweeting or texting. There's so many different ways to get sucked into the technology vortex and forget to go into the self-love that you deserve and need in the morning. So what I suggest is take 10, 15 minutes, and I know you could spare it because I'm busy too, and I totally get there's a lot of things that demand your attention. And so whether that means just getting up 10 minutes early, just take that time to, whether it's to meditate, to journal, to pray, to just sit, to write out affirmations. Do something for you that's going to fill yourself up. And if you practice this daily, I promise you that you're going to begin to start feeling more of a connection to yourself and more grounded in yourself. Now, I just launched, a few months ago, a great product. It's called the 21-Day Emotional Detox, which gives you 21 days of things you can do in 10 minutes or less that can really enhance your self-worth and self-esteem and remove any emotional turmoil. So if you are struggling to figure out what can I do for 10 minutes, try that. It's $1 a day. It's so inexpensive, and it's a great avenue for you to really begin to connect with yourself. You can find it at the 21dayemotionaldetox.com. So the link will be below for that as well. All right, so let's get into now my second tip, which is honor yourself. Don't participate in activities that bring you down unless it's taxes. Now, I totally am not a tax girl. However, I know that it's something that I need to do to be a responsible human being. And so I say, don't do anything that brings you down unless it's necessary. And there's certain things that I even do myself every day that is kind of like, ugh. But it's so important for me to have that responsibility taken care of, because if I ignore it, it piles up and it could create a lot of conflict in my life that would be a lot worse than if I actually did it. So another part of this too is to start to limit the toxic people that are in your life. Now, I say limit because the reality is you can't exterminate the toxic people or the toxic experiences out of your life. That's actually impossible. And it doesn't mean that people are bad. Is that sometimes people are just even having a bad day and they're spewing their toxicity into your personal space. And you want to really kind of build that emotional resilience where it's kind of deflecting off of you, you're not getting emotionally invested, and you're not taking on a lot of that controversy, but you start to limit the exposure to it so that way you can continue to work on building yourself up and building your self-worth and your self-esteem. Okay, so this leads me to my third one, which is have self-compassion. Be patient with yourself. Now, self-compassion is a big topic that I personally talk a lot about, and that's because we tend to have no compassion for ourselves. We hold ourselves to such rigid and harsh standards, and we expect so much out of us. I mean, my daily to-do list has got to be this long. And I used to hold myself accountable to try to get all these things done. And when they weren't done, I'd work late into the night, or I'd beat myself up because it wasn't enough and I didn't finish it. The reality is, Bonnie, you had a list that was a little bit too long, and some of that stuff is going to still be there for tomorrow. So you want to have a little compassion for yourself and say that, there's a lot of other things that are happening and life is continuing to happen, that sometimes my best is better on some days than others. And so we begin to have a little bit self-compassion, have a little bit of just with yourself. Just love it. Love you and love you doing your best. So hopefully these 3 tips have kind of helped you in some way. And if not, my tweetable might. So here it is. Loving yourself isn't just going to happen without trust, forgiveness, and compassion. Loving yourself is just the same as loving your spouse or your partner. It takes a lot of trust, it takes compassion, it takes a lot of work. And so the same thing is going to be true with you, is that if you don't have a relationship with yourself, it's going to take time to build and mold that into something that you can really celebrate and enjoy. So take some time, whether it's 10 minutes a day, can drastically change your self-worth and your self-esteem. Begin to try that starting this week, and hopefully that this has helped you a little bit or in some way. Don't forget, you can also email us all of your questions at getinspired@bonniekelly.me or comment below. We love hearing your tips and tools about how people can become a self-love guru just like you. All right, don't forget to friend, follow, tweet, and fan us on all social media platforms. We're here for you every step of the way. Until next week, I'm Bonnie Kelly.